So have you ever wanted to make a model that is completely unique? Well, in that case, kit bashing or converting a model is going to be an awesome step to take. It can be loads of fun. But to make your life a little bit easier, what is the basic equipment you need in your toolbox? Well, that's what we're going to have a look at right now. So first of all, what tools are you going to need? Now don't worry if it seems like I skim over something, as I'll put a full resource list of what I'm using today down in the description. I'll also put some links in there so you can check them out for yourself, along with the up-to-date prices from retailers that I trust and use myself. Okay, first of all, you're going to need some snippers or modelling side cutters. Now this particular set I've had for many years, and I could probably do with replacing fairly soon. Next, a sharp hobby knife or a scalpel. Now you want to ensure the blade is sharp to prevent it snagging, which can at best carve off something that you didn't want to, or at worst carve off a part of you, which you definitely want to avoid. Now after cutting things up, you're going to need to sand down and smooth out those cut surfaces. Now there are many sanding products out on the market, but these ones are from a Gundam set I got a little while ago. So in this one set you have a range of soft sanding sticks, which range from really coarse, which will cut away a lot of material very quickly, down to ultra fine for polishing surfaces. Next, this is really handy. This is a razor saw. Now this particular one is the basic saw from Tamiya, which has two very thin but very sharp saw blades. Now this is awesome for creating nice, straight, long cuts, which you'll not be able to get with either a hobby knife or snippers. Now one really useful bit of kit is a micro drill, and you can get these fairly cheap. Yes, you can get really expensive electric ones, but especially when starting out, a manual twist drill like this is perfect, and also it's a lot cheaper. Now make sure you get a set of micro drill bits. They don't always get sold with the drill itself. Now this is the one that I use and can be unscrewed to allow a range of different size heads for different drill bit sizes. Now to be honest, when I first bought this, I didn't find these additional heads for ages, but once I found them, it makes life a lot easier, so it's worth checking out. Now this is a really handy bit of kit when you're kit bashing, as we shall see in a bit. Now for handling small parts, tweezers are really worth having. Once again, there are all sorts of shapes and sizes out there, but even the basic cosmetic ones you can get from a local chemist can be really handy. So once you've done all your cutting and sanding, you're going to need something to glue everything together. Now this is Tamiya Extra Thin Cement, which is amazing for small parts, but also remember that you're not going to be working with plastic all the time, so having some super glue in your arsenal is also worth having. Now this is slightly digressing into materials, but having some thin wire is worth having about and has a range of uses. Now this is just some copper wire from some old cabling that I had lying around, but this will come in really handy later on. The next thing worth having is some modelling epoxy putty. Epoxy putty. Yeah. So once again, there are tons of different types, all with different uses and pros and cons. Now for what I have planned today, I'm going to use some Milliput, as it can be smoothed out and then it can also be sanded if needed once dry. Not all putties can do this, so it's worth checking that out. Now first of all, if you're using putty, then a selection of sculpting tools is a bit of a no-brainer. Now my set I've got here has been made up of multiple sets that I've collected over the years, but the sculpting tools can come made out of metal, plastic and even silicone. What is best is often down to personal preference, but also the effect you're trying to get as well. And a lot of that comes with trial and error and practice. But I do use lots of different things in different videos, and I've tried different bits of kit out, so you might want to check those out on the channel later on. Now moving on to sculpting and painting, then personally I find a painting handle like this is invaluable. Now I've had this one for quite a while now, and it's still going strong. In fact, I did do a review on this a long time ago now, so I'll put a link to that video down in the description, so if you want to check out in more detail then you can later on. But the most important thing you're going to need to kit bash your own models is bits. Yes, you can go out and hunt and buy components individually, but that can be rather expensive. But simply, when you make a kit, then don't throw away all the spare components. Put them into a bag or put into a box. You can, if you're feeling particularly organised, you can even sort them out into little baggies to help make them more organised and find the bits you have in mind later on a bit easier. Now I have 3 extra top tips coming up to help you with your own kit bashes. But on that note, 97% of you who watch this channel frequently do not subscribe. So if you have ever enjoyed any of my videos, please could you do me a favour and hit the subscribe button. It helps this channel more than you know, and the bigger the channel gets, the more kit and equipment I can test and more aspects of the modelling hobby can be explored. Now when it comes to converting models and creating your own unique kit bashed mini, now to help you with this next phase, I've put together some top tips, and that video will appear up here in a second. Alternatively, you might like this one down here as well. That's also a very good one. Now whichever you choose, I hope you found this video really useful and enjoyed it. If so, let me know down in the comments, and I will see you on the next project.